Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the meditation session. Let us take a moment to arrive on our seat, on our meditation cushion, or on our chair. Let us do that by taking 3 deep breaths. Every time we inhale, we try to refresh our attention. Every time we exhale, we relax. Now let us take a look at our meditation posture. So you can sit on the floor, that would be the best, but if you are sitting on the chair, that's also perfectly fine. If you're sitting on the chair, just make sure you're not leaning against the support of the chair and not leaning forward either. Most important is for your body to be straight, for your spine to be aligned. If you're sitting on the floor, you can sit in full lotus posture. That would be the best, but might be a little bit difficult. Make sure you're not pushing yourself. Make sure you're not forcing your body. You can simply sit cross-legged or in half lotus or even Burmese style with one leg in front of the other. The hands are in the mudra of concentration or the meditation mudra. So you have your right hand on top of the left. The 2 thumbs are slightly touching and this rests on your lap. The body is upright, the back is straight. You can imagine that there is a string pulling from the crown of your head, keeping your body upright. The shoulders are even and relaxed. The neck is aligned with the spine. You can very slightly tilt your head forward, not too much. You can place your tongue behind your upper teeth, towards your upper palate. This helps to reduce the production of saliva while you meditate. And finally, the eyes are not completely closed. We leave them slightly opened, but we don't actually pay attention to what our eyes are seeing. It is the mental consciousness that meditates. You can simply gaze in the space in front of you, 1 or 2 meters ahead of you, and 45 degrees cast down. So this helps if you have a tendency to fall asleep, keeping the eyes slightly open so there is some light entering. It's also, good as beginners to familiarize ourselves with meditating with the eyes not completely closed but slightly open, so that in the future we can choose if we want to meditate with eyes open or eyes closed. Then we will be able to do both. But if from the outset we familiarize ourselves with meditating only with eyes closed, then in the future it becomes very difficult to meditate with eyes open. So this posture is known as the 7-point Buddha Vairochana meditation posture. Out of these 7 points, the most important is for the body to be upright, for the back to be straight. Now that we looked at our body posture, let us look at our mind. And specifically, let us try to generate a motivation of bodhicitta for this session, for this meditation. Bodhicitta is the Sanskrit word for the awakening mind. So the awakening mind is the wish, the aspiration to achieve full awakening, to achieve the state of a Buddha, in order to benefit all sentient beings. Why do we want to benefit all sentient beings? Is because we recognize that since beginningless time, since time immemorial, all sentient beings, including ourselves, have been trapped in the vicious prison of the mind, the vicious prison of cyclic existence, or samsara in Sanskrit. continuously taking rebirth again and again and again and again in the various realms of samsara. Sometimes we have birth that is quite fortunate. For example, at the moment we are born human, and probably our lives are quite balanced. But sometimes we are born as animals, we are born as pretas, hell beings, suras, asuras, and we don't have any control. We cannot choose where we get reborn, the conditions of our rebirth. We cannot choose the experiences that we make. For example, today we cannot choose suddenly a neighbor might come and complain about something. Similarly, suddenly a friend might come and give you gifts, for example. We don't have much control over this. This lack of control is precisely what samsara is, what cyclic existence is. Whatever we experience, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant experiences, is due to the results of the karmic imprints we have accumulated, the karmic actions we have done in the past. Any unpleasant experience, any experience of suffering that we have is due to the negative karmas we have accumulated in the past, such as killing, stealing, lying, and so on and so forth. And any pleasant experience that we have, such as probably most of you are enjoying, if you're in Delhi, you're enjoying the breeze of the fan or the AC. So this is due to the positive actions we have accumulated in the past. So all these actions that we accumulate, that result in accumulation of karma and the experiences that are related to it, we accumulate these karmas because of our afflictions, such as anger, jealousy, pride, anxiety, attachment, excessive desire, and so on and so forth. And these afflictions, they come from this impression that we have that we are the center of the universe. We feel that we are more important than others. And this misconception, in turn, is given rise to by the self-grasping ignorance. Basically, we have this innate ignorance. We apprehend phenomena. We think that everything, including ourselves, is so solidly real. We have this misconception that things exist intrinsically, in and of themselves. We feel that things exist independently from our mind. We have the impression that phenomena exist objectively from their own side, that they exist truly. And as long as we have this self-grasping ignorance, we will remain in the prison of the mind, we will remain in samsara. Let us try to generate a sense of compassion for ourselves and all sentient beings who have this self-grasping ignorance. The minds are disturbed by negative emotions, afflictions, constantly engaging in negative actions, and because of the self-grasping ignorance, even the positive actions are contaminated. Therefore, going round and round and round, again and again, being reborn without any control. Let us try to generate a sense of compassion for all sentient beings, thinking, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. The causes of suffering being karma and afflictions. And let us try to take this compassion to the next level, which is the altruistic intention, generating a sense of responsibility that I, myself, will free all sentient beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. At the moment, I have this precious human rebirth with all my physical and mental capacities. I live in a world where the Buddha has appeared 2500 years ago, and the Buddha has extensively explained the methods to free our minds from all the afflictions that are rooted in the self-grasping ignorance. Not only that, but the teachings that he gave are still very much available to this day, especially in this digital era. With internet, just one click, we can listen, we can read, we can watch videos of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for example. It's incredible. With just one click, we have so much merit. Not only that, but there are many followers of the Buddha's teachings, many qualified teachers who are sharing the knowledge and who are supporting you in your practice. And not only that, but there are many supporters of the Buddha's disciples. Many people who are so generous, for example, in sponsoring the centers where you can learn about the Buddha's teachings. So with all these conditions, I have what is called the precious human rebirth. I have this incredible opportunity to hear about the Buddha's teachings, to contemplate on the Buddha's teachings and to meditate on them. So with all these conditions, I can actually work on my mind. I can eliminate all the afflictions. I can eliminate the self-grasping ignorance. And I can even eliminate the cognitive obscurations and achieve the state of a Buddha, achieve the state of full awakening. So recognizing that at the moment I have these precious conditions, while most of the beings don't. Animals don't have the potential in that life to listen to the Buddha's teachings. Asuras, suras, too busy indulging in the pleasures. Hungry ghosts, the pretas, too busy trying to look after food. Hell beings, too busy experiencing immense suffering. And even in the human beings, we can see on this planet about 8 billion human beings. How many are interested in looking inwards, in looking at their minds? Very few. So with all these conditions that I have at the moment, I have this incredible opportunity to listen to the teachings of the Buddha, contemplate, reflect, and meditate to transform my mind and gradually achieve the state of a Buddha. So let us try to give rise to this altruistic attention. I myself will free all sentient beings from suffering and its causes. So how can I do that? Myself being afflicted at the moment, myself deluded by the self-grasping ignorance. So first, I must eliminate the self-grasping ignorance, the root of all my problems. I must reach the state of a Buddha, the state of full awakening, the state of omniscience. Buddha has omniscience, the capacity to know all phenomena simultaneously, knowing the past, present, and future, and therefore being able to guide sentient beings unmistakably. Let us try to generate this most beautiful mind of bodhicitta, the awakening mind, by thinking, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. With this motivation in mind, we will engage in Shamatha practice this morning. I'll quickly remind you of the instructions for Shamatha. Shamatha is Sanskrit for calm abiding, or Shine in Tibetan. So the first instruction is the body posture that we looked at in the beginning of the session. So ideally we sit in the 7-point Buddha Vairochana meditation posture. The most important of the 7 points is for the back to be straight, for the body to be upright. The second instruction is the object of meditation. What are we actually meditating on? So if you're familiar with Shamatha and more specifically with single-pointed meditation, I would recommend that you use the object that you're the most familiar with. If you don't have an object that you are very familiar with, what I would suggest is to take the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your attention there, at the entrance of the nostrils, and more specifically at the feeling. When you breathe in, when you breathe out, when you breathe in you feel it's a little bit cooler, when you breathe out a little bit warmer. When there is a pause between the inhales and exhales, it's neutral, so try to place all your attention at the entrance of the nostrils, the feeling, the sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. The third point is that during meditation we tend to get distracted, and there are 2 main ways we get distracted. The first one is called mental excitement. Basically, we are distracted with thoughts, mostly thinking about the past and the future. The second way we get distracted is with mental laxity, also called dullness or lethargy. We don't put enough application in our meditation and the mind starts to think. We kind of fall asleep. So finally, the last instruction is to apply the antidotes to counteract these 2 distractions. So the first antidote is called introspection or alertness. So basically, while our mind is focused on our object of meditation, in the background there is a small part of the mind. Technically it's called a mental factor that is checking. Introspection is looking like a security camera, you could imagine, checking what the mind is doing. Is my mind concentrated? Is it placed on my object of meditation? Or is it distracted with laxity or excitement? And if this mental factor of introspection or alertness notices that the mind has wandered, that the mind is not focused on the object of meditation anymore, then we make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to bring the mind back onto the object of meditation. An analogy that I like to use to illustrate this is a little bit like if you have a pet dog at home and the dog runs away from home. Introspection notices that the dog left, and mindfulness brings the dog back home, and you can also imagine tying him against a pillar so that he remains at home. So it is a little bit similar to what we are trying to do with our mind. So let us practice this meditation for about 5 minutes, making sure to check and identify the 2 distractions and using the antidotes of introspection and mindfulness. we meditated for 5 minutes. It is actually advised when we begin with meditation to keep our sessions short. And there are two reasons for that. The first one is that we are so, used to being distracted and not doing anything about it. So if we sit for 1, 2, 3 hours, let's say, then we are just reinforcing, if you are not using the antidotes properly of introspection and mindfulness, we are just reinforcing our bad habits. On the other hand, if we sit for, let's say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we make a commitment that I will do a quality 5 minutes meditation, I will make proper use of the antidotes, I will, concentrate to use the antidotes and try to remain focused on my object of meditation, then gradually we will progress. The more small sessions we do, we will see that over time, now let's say we can focus for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds already we are distracted. The more we sit for short sessions, the more we train in using the two antidotes of introspection and mindfulness, then gradually we'll notice we can now focus for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds without being distracted. So the more sessions, short sessions we do, the more progress we will see. The second reason is that if we sit for, let's say, 1, 2, 3 hours, at the end of the session we might feel exhausted, we might feel tired. So the next time we see our meditation cushion, we might not want to meditate. On the other hand, if we sit for sessions of 5 minutes, and we can do several sessions a day, then at the end of the 5 minutes, you might feel that you want to meditate more. So this is a very good sign. It means that you will make, the effort to do more sessions. So let us take a moment to dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by trying to generate bodhicitta and trying to develop our use of the antidotes of introspection and mindfulness for shamatha. Let us dedicate these merits so that we may soon, very soon, become fully awakened Buddhas in order to benefit countless sentient beings. May the precious minds of bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness that have not yet arisen arise and grow, and may that which has already arisen never diminish but increase forevermore. We also pray for the long and healthy life of our spiritual guides, and in particular His Holiness the Dalai Lama. May he live very long and healthy and continue to teach us the Dharma of Buddha Shakyamuni. We can also dedicate our merits for the return of the spiritual guide of the FPMT, of Tushita, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who showed the aspect of passing away last year. May Rinpoche come back very soon in a fresh body to continue to teach us, guide us, and lead the organization. And finally, due to our merits, may the wars that are happening in the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new war. May there be no famine. May there be no epidemic. May there be no disasters of the elements, natural catastrophes. And may peace and harmony prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. So thank you very much everyone for joining the session this morning. So the next session will be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. also online. And as you might be aware, Tushita will close for summer in June and July. So before that we have several programs happening both at the center and online. The first one is tomorrow evening, tomorrow Tuesday at 6:30. We have the Vajrasattva purification practice. Then on Thursday is actually Buddha Purnima or Sakadawa Duchen. Buddha Purnima is the Sanskrit, and Sakadawa Duchen is the Tibetan equivalent of Tibetan. Is the festival that commemorates Shakyamuni Buddha's deeds, especially his birth is achieving awakening and is passing into parinirvana. So I think it is a bank holiday actually in Delhi and perhaps the whole of India. It is a day off. I think people are not going to the office. Most people are not going to work on that day. So we have at Tushita, we have planned at 11 a.m. To gather. It will also be online to do practices that are recommended by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So we'll do a Shamatha meditation, but then we'll also read the sutra, remembering the three jewels. It's a very short sutra, remembering the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then we'll do a puja of Buddha Shakyamuni to remember the deeds of his life and to praise him, and make offerings to Buddha Shakyamuni to celebrate him on that day. Then if you are free also that day in the afternoon, Tibet House is organizing a visit to the national museums to pay homage to the Buddha relics that are there. This is at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., Tibet House is also organizing a ceremony of taking the aspirational bodhisattva vow. So this is at 6 p.m. at Tibet House on Lodi Road. Then our following programs on Saturday at 2 p.m. we'll have the recitation of the Golden Light Sutra for world peace. This would be only in person at Tushita Saturday at 2 p.m. And then on Monday we'll have at 6:30 p.m. we'll have an introduction talk to the Buddha's teachings. It is good for beginners to know about the teachings of the Buddha. What are they all about? And on Tuesday at 6:30 we'll have a puja. So then apart from that, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m., our online guided meditation. Ranjani is asking for the link for making a donation. So yes, you might know that Tushita is entirely based on donations. We don't ask, for fees or anything like that. And we don't have like a regular source of income. So we are entirely functioning due to the generosity of people who attend our sessions. For example, the place that we have in Hoskas, the meditation center we have in Hoskas, we don't even own it, we rent it. So every day we have to pay for the rent and we have to pay for the maintenance and all these things. So this is only possible due to the generosity of people who participate in our activities and who help us. So online, you actually have a possibility of making a donation on our website, which is tushitadelhi.com. So thank you very much for your generosity, and don't feel, of course, it's not mandatory at all to make a donation. It's just for those who would like to. So thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow morning online at 9 a.m. and in person at 6:30 p.m. as well as online for the Vajrasattva purification meditation tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.